Good afternoon and welcome to our recorded webinar on shop floor quality. My name is Tandy Banks and we also have Mike Charney from QualityXpert. Over the next 20 minutes we'll be talking about how we can empower smaller manufacturers to get the benefits of quality management systems in a very adoptable platform. We appreciate your time today and look forward to exploring your quality system needs. GoEngineer is keenly focused on helping our customers effectively navigate the product development process. It's really what we live for. Our tools and processes start early with conceptualization and reverse engineering. We spend a lot of time in the design cycle with mechanical and electrical CAD, simulation and analysis before moving into product realization. We have a lot of fun working with our great technologies in additive manufacturing and 3D printing. Those you can see up at the top of the screen. As we move into the release of products and their supporting documents, it helps to keep the data flowing through PDM into PLM, ERP, and MRP systems. And when products and jobs hit the shop floor, it's important to have accurate documentation to lead the manufacturing efforts. SOLIDWORKS MBD and inspection have been developed to help us do that task quickly and accurately through extracting all that important data stored in our solid models. We even get CAM in that process today with advances in feature and tolerance-based machining. As we have conversations with you, our valued client partners, we continue to hear more common terms and concerns. Things like feature measuring and inspection with coordinate measuring machines and optical systems. Using 3D scanners like our Creaform laser and structured light measuring devices. Then we hear you talk about things like visual inspection at the source, the need to manage jobs to specific quality efforts. Smaller shops need a way to be alerted of issues and to analyze the effects that arise during normal production. You need to be able to quickly report on capabilities and have a way to manage gauges and other measuring equipment. You want a system that's easy to implement, learn, and use, and you don't have time to invest into a sluggish, tedious system. GoEngineer has had a great relationship in the past with Inspection Expert Corporation. They're the team that brought us SOLIDWORKS Inspection. So today we are here to introduce their latest product offering, QualityXpert. We feel their cloud-based quality management system is a great complement to the rest of the tools in GoEngineer's solution arsenal. So with that, I turn this over to Mike Charney to tell us more about QualityXpert.
I'm incredibly excited to be working with our great partner GoEngineer to introduce you to our shop floor data collection and SPC reporting system called QualityXpert. I always like to start with an explanation of our why. So why did we create QualityXpert? It's to help small companies achieve big results. And we do this by simplifying manufacturing quality for small job shops. I mean, that's what gets us out of bed every day. So why small job shops? It's because enterprise software solutions suck for small businesses. And we know this because we're a small business. I mean, we're resource strapped just like you are. Everyone in our company wears multiple hats, and we can't afford to have dedicated resources to manage each software tool that we buy. We believe that managing production quality doesn't have to suck for you, but there's a better way. We purpose-built a cloud-based quality management system specifically for the small job shop. And we also built a customer success team dedicated to making you successful with our products. We believe world-class tools and service should be available for the little guys too. So what's the challenge you're trying to solve? You know, that's the first thing that I ask when my phone rings. Then I talked to a job shop owner in Cleveland, and he explained it to me this way. He doesn't have a true product. His product is his ability to deliver quality parts faster and cheaper than the next guy. That's your product, right? I've asked other job shop owners about collaboration and best practice conversations with their peers, and they've all told me they can't have those conversations. It's too competitive. I can't talk to my peers. So they need to look internally and continually improve quality, efficiency, and visibility. So quality, it's a huge bottleneck because it's not an option. I mean, you have customer requirements and regulatory requirements that you have to adhere to, right? You want to produce more good parts and less bad ones. That's obvious. But how do you do that? You do that by controlling the variation in your process. Every process has variation. You just have to keep that variation within the acceptable limits set by your customer. And that's where we start getting into the meat of the problem. To control variation, you have to know the source of your variation. To know the source, you have to have data. In most cases, you have data. Heck, you've got mountains of data. You just can't do anything with it. The data's on paper check sheets that are in file cabinets, or they're saved as scanned copies on a server, or it's on spreadsheets, or maybe text files generated by your CMM. But either way, it doesn't matter. To analyze the data, you have to comb through it, put it in another spreadsheet, or enter it into a statistical software program, which means you're creating another silo of data that has to be managed and maintained. This makes it difficult, time-consuming, and expensive to identify and eliminate sources of scrap at your company. So instead, you budget for scrap production, and that cost comes right out of your profit. So efficiency, right? You want to be more efficient. What does that mean? Efficiency equals required effort over desired output. Desired output is the value of the goods you produce, right? In a job shop, required effort, that equals labor, material, and machine time. So to be more efficient and more profitable, you need to eliminate waste of labor, waste of material, and maximize your machine time. So where are wasteful labor costs incurred by you? Rework. Now, not only are you wasting labor expense to have someone rework a part, but you're also adding to the work that your material review board has to do to determine if a part can be reworked or if it needs to be scrapped. Over inspection, right? If you can't statistically prove your process is in control, the only way to know is to inspect your parts. I have a medical device supplier in Minnesota that's contractually obligated to either statistically prove their process is in control or perform 100% inspection. This means production is slowed so the operators can inspect and record their results, or the quality teams doing 100% final inspection prior to shipping the order. And then there's reporting within efficient systems. So I mentioned silos of data. Gathering data from different sources, it takes a lot of time from highly trained employees. That's usually a quality engineer or a manager. And only after collecting the information and entering the data into another system can the analysis take place. And the analysis is where the value is added. That's where the employee's training and experience pays off. Everything before that, it's just waste. How about waste of materials? So scrap, we all know what that is, right? Scrap is waste in its most pure form. You spend a bunch of money on raw material, you put it through multiple processes, then you drill a hole that's 5/1000ths of an inch outside the spec limits. Scrap. That's an $800 paperweight. Another waste of material is overproduction, and this is usually to compensate for expected scrap. If you expect to scrap 15% of your parts on an order, then you plan to overproduce by 20%. You budget for your inability to control variation. What about waste of machine time? Every part you produce that needs to be reworked or scrapped is time that your production machines could be using to make good parts. I don't have to tell you how much your CNC machines cost. You know that far more than I do. The money that goes into purchasing and maintaining machines isn't less just because unusable parts are produced. And then there's the waste of waiting, right? Machines that are not running are not making money. It's hard enough to find good operators to run your machines. The machines and operators can't be idle because they're waiting on balloon part drawings, inspection reports, and new wallpaper for the production cell. Paper-based quality processes are bottlenecks for production. So let's talk about visibility, right? You want to know what's happening on your shop floor. If your inspection records are on paper, your process capability analysis requires a statistical software program, your scrap reports are in Excel, and your quality planning is done with Adobe and a spreadsheet, it's pretty hard to get a real-time view of what's happening on the shop floor. So you want to know where to take action. You ask your quality manager, production manager, operations manager, hey, where do we need to focus? They can tell you, but man, does it require work and time? The whole time you're waiting on answers, you're producing unnecessary scrap and you're working inefficient processes. So what are the challenges that you face? What are the biggest barriers to growth that you tell us about? I hear all the time that quality is a bottleneck. Paper, spreadsheets, different software for SPC, engage management, operators not knowing if they've made a good part, and shop owners losing sleep over how to squeeze more profit from the business. What does this all mean? The studies that I've read on manufacturing quality say that all this means 15% of top line revenue is lost to poor quality. I'm talking about overproduction, scrap, rework, non-conformance analysis, returns, replacements, and inspection costs. That's 15% for well-run companies. It can be much higher. Some of the shops I go into, they've got these metrics as KPIs. They're displayed on whiteboards or they're on screens. I tell you, other places I go to, the guys they shake their heads and they say, look, I know I should track these metrics, but I don't have the time. So the only real question, the only one that really matters is, what does it mean to you? How is your business being impacted by your challenges around managing your production quality? But we decided to build something to address this situation. We call it QualityXpert. So we took all those disparate silos of data and we put them into a single system. Shop floor inspection, simple quality management, real-time SPC engaged management. You don't think it makes sense to have this data scattered all over the place. You know what? Neither do we. So let's talk about shop floor data collection first. The bane of shop floor quality systems is getting the data into the system. I was talking to a shop owner in California, and he said if getting inspection results into QualityXpert is any harder than writing on a piece of paper, his guys won't do it. And he can't afford to make them because it would slow down production. We make it easy. Right, your operators, they'll see a part drawing that was ballooned with SOLIDWORKS inspection and a data entry interface. So when they select the piece and the characteristic that they're entering a measurement for, they see visually, it's on the screen right in front of them, exactly what feature on the part they're measuring. The operator gets a visual indicator that the measurement's good, and they'll see a real-time run and moving range chart so they can see trends in their production. They enter the measurement, press enter, and QualityXpert takes them to the next feature they need to measure. Easy, frictionless process. You're not asking them to do more than they're already doing. And no more illegible handwritten measurements or spreadsheet files. It's all entered into a single system for reporting and analysis. So what if you're not measuring with hand tools, but instead you're measuring with a portable CMM on the floor or a CMM in the lab? You can bring that data into QualityXpert too. And better yet, you can use this mega chart view to see measurement results for all the characteristics for the operation that's being produced. This is a real-time view. It can be viewed by the operator on the shop floor or a quality engineer or a manager, and from anywhere they happen to be, all in real time. So what if an out-of-spec part's produced? A Q alert's generated. So QualityXpert forces the operator to enter an immediate cause for the bad part from a drop-down list that you configure, so you can determine what causes a variation you want to control for and eliminate. We're at the scene of the crime. The operator knows why the bad part was created. Get the information from them immediately so you can analyze it and take action. The job owner is going to get an immediate email with this information. So you know there's a problem on this job, this machine, this feature produced by this operator. Real-time alerts. So let's talk about non-conformance reporting. You've captured the data, great. What can you do with it? So you want to know why you're creating bad parts on your shop floor? Push a button. In seconds, you can generate a Pareto chart showing you where your problems are coming from. Now you don't have to assume or guess where you're going to get the most bang for your buck with process improvement. You can see where 80% of your problems come from and plan accordingly. You want to dig a little deeper? Change the groupings. You can slice and dice the data by operator, operation, machine, part, job, severity, immediate cause, or disposition. Start to quickly drill down on the root cause. So capability analysis. Do you have to prove your process is capable? My medical device customers tell me they have to deliver process capability information to their customers. And not just CPK and PPK, but a full capability analysis. This data is already in the system. Push a button and generate a process capability report. But many of these companies that I talk to, they do this at the end of a job because they have to for their customer. How about monitoring this at any point during your production process? With QualityXpert, you can, because you can push a button and generate this report. What about your gauges? Well, we built that into QualityXpert too. So when I talk to my QualityXpert customers about managing gauges, they were using spreadsheets or specific gauge management software. Without fail, the gauge management software users told me they used 10 to 20% of the functionality in their gauge management software. They need to know where their gauges are, when they need calibration, and they need to perform gauge R&Rs. That's what we put into QualityXpert. Just the things that they needed and nothing else. Don't fail an audit again because you haven't completed a gauge R&R. The two biggest concerns I hear when I talk to job shop owners are hidden cost and how am I going to implement it? We've all bought software tools that never got used. It's so common it has a name. It's called shelfware. We employ a 4-step process to help you make the right decision without wasting weeks or heck, months of your time. It starts with an initial 30-minute phone call. Help us understand your current process, what works, what doesn't, why you want to change, and who needs to be involved, both in the evaluation and the decision stages. Next, we schedule a 30-minute product demonstration. You've already told us the challenge you're trying to solve, right? So now we show you exactly how QualityXpert does it. If you want to prove it to yourself, we set you up with your own QualityXpert account and we spend an hour with you. We set up the system so you're ready to use it. Then we give you 2 weeks. Test QualityXpert in your shop. You're using your data, your environment. You get to see firsthand, does this system work for your shop, your employees, your processes? Does it give you the information you need to improve your business? If it does, you buy. But you're already trained and functional with QualityXpert. You can start with a single line or you can roll it out to the whole shop at once. We're not asking you for a dime until you're satisfied that QualityXpert will provide overwhelming value for the company. And the cost, it depends on the size of the company, the size of your company. It'll fit you today, and it'll also grow as you go. So thanks for your time today, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate you showing us more about this exciting QMS platform. And as Mike showed, there's a great plan to help you adopt QualityXpert quickly. If this is a good fit for you, let's schedule a 30-minute slot with Mike and I to understand a little bit more about your specific situation. My contact information is here on the screen, and I welcome your direct feedback. Again, we thank you very much for your time today and taking a look at QualityXpert.